get cussed out every day.
I know I get cursed all the time, kid. Man.
You're gonna laugh about it.
Always like fuck 12, fuck 12 every day. Shit. I don't care. That shit don't offend me. Shit. I laugh at that shit.
Welcome to Cousin Niki Presents. Welcome to Cousin Niki Presents Foolery Friday with the Fools. We are going to start in a few minutes, so be right back. And the hater said, "Fuck 12."
What?
Good evening. Welcome to Cousin Niki Presents Foolery Friday with the Fools. Before we get down to the foolery, the first thing we need to do is share a moment. All of us are veterans on here, and I think we all joined the military after 9/11. So 9/11 is really what brought us together, I think, a sense of patriotism. And we can all remember where we were that day. So tomorrow is 9/11. We are going to show this video clip. We're going to have a little talk after. And we'll be right back. New York City so nice they named it twice. And the walls came tumbling down. where were you on September 11th, 2001, Ernest? Hey, Vader.
I was in matter of fact, I just got back from to Texas from NTC from California. So I was already in the service. I was already in. I already had a year in. So we just got back from NTC. We just finished cleaning the motor pool. Well, the first plane hit when we had formation in the morning, and I didn't really kind of take it serious. I was like, what the hell? And then I guess it was around lunchtime or when he's about to get off, because we kind of got off early, and the second plane hit, and then he was like, yo, we gotta go. Like it's something serious, you know what I mean? So I was in full hood when it happened.
How old were you?
First year, 19.
Sierra, where were you? September 11th, 2001.
I'm a baby, so I was in school.
Great.
Fifth.
So what happened? Did you know about it? Did they talk about it?
They kind of, I guess because we were so small, when it first happened, teachers turned on the TV, you know, that big old thick TV they used to wheel in the room. And then when the Pentagon got hit, we got evacuated. I was like, we in Virginia Beach. Why does it matter if we evacuated? They evacuated us and sent us home.
What y'all laughing at? The noise?
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I know.
There's somebody they have a dirt bike over here.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was a vibrator or something like that. I'm like, well, turn that off. What's going
The debater, where were you? 2011. I'm sorry, 9/11, 2001.
It was my senior year at Gwynn Park High School. Captain of the football team. Showed up a little late. So I thought at home class they was actually showing a movie, and I was like, man, this movie dope. And everybody gave me the staring eyes like, this is happening. I'm like, what, in America? Are you serious? Like, I've never seen something like that. So I felt that day like no other. Like captain of the football team and you know what's going on in the school. Like that was just crazy. But yeah, it was troubling times. I think it's one of the times that we actually united as a country. Mm-hmm. Right now, I feel like we're divided, but that's a different story. But I mean, from all walks of life, from all different beliefs, I believe that that day, moving to about 3 or 4 years past the day, I think it was like United States, United Front.
True that. I was 19 and I was in college. I joined the military, but I was in the DEP program, so I wasn't leaving until January after New Year's. I wanted to do the holidays at home, and I wanted to finish my semester. But yeah, I was 19. I didn't have class that day, so I was at home watching MTV, and it came on. And I remember, I will never forget, I called my recruiter, and I said, I don't want to go no more. Because that's when you started hearing people say, it's going to be a war, it's going to be a war. And I said, I don't want to go no more. He said, well, it's too late. You already signed your contract. He said, you got to go. But it was the best decision I made because not only did I meet great people, I got a chance to serve my country. I got a chance to just build another family. But as the debater was saying, we were really united, and you really felt a sense of patriotism at that time. So right now, we're going to take a moment of silence for the over 3,000 people who lost their lives that day. We had some over at both the Twin Towers and the crash sites. So let's take about a minute and just remember those who left us that day, and the troops who fought in OIF and OEF all those years to follow. And even up to now, we're still losing troops. So let's just take a moment of silence to remember those people. Thank you to the first responders. Thank you to our troops. Thank you to the families who had to endure the aftermath of that. The Hater, you're from New York.
Yeah.
So when you got a chance to call back home, what was the story?
I was rest in peace, my grandfather. My grandfather always used to hang out at the World Trade Center every other day. Like that was his. That's what his routines at clockwork. Every other day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. At the time he was kind of getting sick, so he wasn't actually out that day. So he wasn't there that day. So that was good. But y'all the only real patriotic ones because I was there. I was already in. I didn't join thinking it was gonna be war. I thought it was gonna be chill. It was calm. You know what I mean? Because if that thing happened after, I wasn't joining. You know what I mean? When we deployed in 2003, I had 1 year left. I was trying to ETS. I'm like, I can't go. Then they came up with that new stuff. Was the stop loss?
Yeah.
And my ass had to stay and go. But I mean, it got me in a good position after. But I'm not patriotic at all. I didn't care about no damn war.
I think we all had our own motives for why we joined, but the patriotism came for why you stayed. Because I know I joined before 9/11. I'm sorry, I joined before 9/11, and I stayed all these years. So for you to have joined before and have different options to leave, you still stayed. So that still shows a level of patriotism. But
no, I got stop lost. And that's how I got deployed. I got stop loss, and that's how I deployed. So it wasn't. I was ready to get out. They forced us to sign another contract. They forced us. They was like, you better sign this contract. Like you ain't getting out. I was ready to get out, go back to New York, be NYPD, and I got stop loss. And yeah, but hey, it came out for the better. You know what
I mean? So we're doing a do-over this week with talking about Poly. So I get everything together. She will be with us at 7:25. But what I wanted to do was for those of us who really don't know anything, who trash Jonathan Carter? Who's trash?
That's the dude that live with his mom on a twin bed.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
Bruh.
You started early.
Dang. We got 15 minutes in it.
He fell in love with Sony, then Ty, and then they all loved each other.
We're a triad. We each have our own relationships separately and together.
But being in a 3-person relationship has brought them in the firing line for some harsh judgment.
I mean, people assume the worst. We're kind of conditioned. We're all brought up to think and believe that monogamy is the way.
And it wasn't just the online trolls that took against their relationship.
Coming from strong Christian families, it was tough. It's an abomination. Going to hell.
Love don't judge.
Oh, did you just...
No, I was doing
Is the consistency correct?
We call it like a triad. Yeah, it's just 3 people, that love each other, pretty much.
Mutual relationship.
Yeah, mutual relationship.
One of the best things for me about being in this poly relationship is, I get the best of both worlds. Not only do I have an attractive male and female that I'm with, but just our bonds.
This is a tough crime. This is a tough crime. You're not getting butter on your pancake. No butter for you. I need the butter.
The worst thing is sometimes the sleeping arrangement.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing.
Get him, baby. Get him.
It's like you can never get enough space with 3 people in a bed.
While sleeping arrangements might be on the tricky side to get right, getting together wasn't tough for these 3.
I met Sunny. I really liked her. She was really, really interesting. She was different, and I like different. So after that, I met Ty, and we were talking about relationships in general, and the subject of polygamy came up, and ever since then
Did y'all see his studio?
we've really been together.
I've seen that queen size bed with
That
three.
wasn't a queen song. Don't even do that. That was a fool.
And we all connect and each have our own relationships separately and together.
There's definitely a strong, intimate, special bond that me and her have with each other alone.
We're like sisters, we're like friends, we're like lovers. Let's have a smooch. I wasn't expecting it to all come together the way that it did so fast, but I'm glad that it did.
Honestly, this is the best relationship that I've been in, and it's not because it's two of them.
Yeah,
It's really because of the connection that we have with each other.
But being in a non-traditional relationship has caused many to judge their choice of lifestyle.
I mean, people assume the worst, especially because everybody's used to monogamy. So yeah, they assume, you know, we're always in competition. That's probably the most unhealthy way to be about it.
With some of their harshest criticism coming from those closest to them.
Oh my goodness.
Family was
Negativity.
a big, coming from a Christian household, yeah, family was huge.
And my preacher's daughter. Coming from strong Christian families, like, it was tough. It's an abomination. Going to hell. I'm like, but I'm just loving. I'm happy. And I'm in love. My dad thought that Sony was just a friend of mine. It was tough for them to realize, like, oh my gosh, she's with two people. And then it's like, wait, a female? She's never dated a female ever.
I was getting a lot of questions, like, how can you do that? Why would you do that? You know, what does it take to do that? So I'm like, you know what, I'm just making Instagram. We can answer all these questions together.
And starting an Instagram to shed light on their relationship to those outside of it brought in additional judgment.
We share a lot of our life on Instagram, a lot of the negative things and positive things, because we want people to know both sides of being poly. We have comments on our Instagram like, y'all are young and perverted. When we get comments like that, we really take a minute because we don't want to. Our job isn't to offend anybody. Our job is to more educate. Usually, Sonny responds to the criticism.
I wasn't even mad. I think you're being a bit presumptuous. We may be a budding throuple, but we're all experienced and have made sacrifices to be together. We're in this for the long haul. Stick around and see. Like, we're not trying to convert anybody. Yeah. We don't want to convert anyone. We're not trying to, like, you know, make you hop on the bandwagon or anything. It's just want to show you that it's possible.
Right.
And that it's real.
I think it's understandable to feel like people who are part of this kind of lifestyle might just either be greedy or unhappy because we're kind of conditioned. We're all brought up to think and believe that monogamy is the way. And it's difficult to think anything other than that. Like, you don't want to share your person. It's just how most people think.
Despite getting judged for being a triad, these three have no intention of hiding their relationship.
It can be hard with the looks, you know, and you can see the judgment on people's faces, kind of. It's also entertaining, too. We're the type that like to have fun with it. See, that's the kind of reactions. That's the kind of reactions we get.
Like, what?
He was like, what?
It's like this.
Oh man, he got it.
And sometimes we do it on purpose.
There'll be moments where y'all will do something that's so adorable to me, and I'm like, my babies! And I just love the love between you two, and it just makes me so happy.
We don't care what people think.
We don't care at all.
Absolutely not. I'm in my love bubble, and I feel like it's impenetrable.
Mm-hmm.
To everyone listening, she's here. We have our poly expert here with us this evening. Before she gets on, Let me give you her bio. Teresa Love is the regional coordinator for Black and Poly Inc., a national organization founded by Ron Young to support and educate individuals and families new to poly. She's a 20-plus year educator, mother of one son and 2 grandkids, and a wife of 27 years. She's been ethically non-polyamory for over 5 years, but non-monogamous her whole life. She loves to travel, read, and smoke premium cigars. She's currently the co-host of a TNT Explosion, a polyamory and cigar podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live. Welcome to the Foolery. Welcome to Foolery Friday. Miss Teresa Love.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to correct a few things. Thank you so much, Niki. I appreciate that. But number one, I'm not a poly expert by no means. I know people who know way more than I do. However, I do consider myself a poly advocate, and I do work with individuals and couples trying to maneuver this ethically non-monogamous love style, as we call it.
Okay, well, let's jump right on into it. So,
interesting video, by the way.
So how accurate is that video? Is that an accurate depiction of what the poly lifestyle does look like?
Well, number one, I didn't see the entire video, so maybe you guys can help me with this part. I thought they were polygamous, which is usually one of the misconceptions about polyamory. Everyone kind of lumps it all together and thinks, well, it's one the same with polygamous relationships and polyamorous relationships. So I'm not sure if they were polygamous. And if they were, then yes, that's probably an accurate depiction of their life. I mean, that is their life. That is what they experience. I just wonder if they were polygamous or polyamorous.
What is the difference?
Well, polygamous is what you saw in the video. It's usually one man and multiple women. The women usually do not date anyone outside of their relationship. Oftentimes it has roots of religion. It's usually at the basis of polygamy, like Muslims and other groups who practice polygamy. So with polyamory, it's not marriage-based, number one. It's not religious-based, number two. And everyone's free to date and love how they choose. So that's a major difference there. And that's what I was just wondering from the video. I just wondered if his girlfriends, if they dated outside of their relationship. If they do not, then no, they don't have a polyamorous relationship, usually. There's exceptions to that.
So polyamorous is when you're not really married and you're gonna love who you want.
Marriage is not the goal of most of the relationships. I am married and I'm polyamorous. However, my marriage is not me and my husband and another person. I date separately, he dates separately. Our relationships usually do not intertwine.
So when we saw
an open relationship, is that an open relationship? Is that
some swingers?
Say it one more time.
That's not polygamous. That's an open relationship.
What's a polyamorous relationship? It may be open, but it's a polyamorous relationship. Usually open relationships usually they're sex-based, meaning my relationship is open. I'm open to have sex with as many people as I so desire, as long as those relationships do not impact my main relationship, i.e. my husband. That's usually how open relationships work. And in this case, I have full-fledged relationships. We have emotional as well as sexual connections. And sometimes there's no sexual connection.
What we saw in the video was the gentleman with 2 women, and the 2 women were together as well. Is that a common theme as with the polygamous love style?
Well, I really don't want to talk too much about polygamy because I'm not polygamous.
Okay.
I was just wondering that from watching the video about if they were polygamous or not. But in polyamory, you may have triads. However, triads are not the norm. Usually they're single people or people who just date multiple people. And they could be married, as in my case, or they may be single, but it's not necessarily a triad, which is what we saw in the video.
For the polyamorous love style, where does it come from? Where does it kind of originate? Is it kind of an offset of polygamy?
Well, the umbrella term for that is ethically non-monogamous. So that's just large. If you can imagine, behind me, I have a red umbrella. And under that umbrella, you have other schools of thought, so to speak. For example, you may have polygamy under there. You may have swinging under there. And on that table under the red umbrella, there's plants. So there's different plants under that same umbrella. So you have polyamory, polygamy, swinging. Those are considered ethically non-monogamous. So people have consent over what they do. Sometimes it's sex-based, sometimes it's relationship-based, sometimes it's emotional-based. That's designed by the people. Now with polyamory itself, polyamory started, the term is a fairly new term. It started in the early 90s. There was a lady who was married and they had a girlfriend, and she wrote an article for her newsletter. And in this article, she was trying to explain her relationship with her husband and her girlfriend. And she said polyamory. Fast forward years later, the Oxford English Dictionary came to her and said, hey, what is this definition polyamory that you said, years ago? And she gave her definition of it. I think I have it somewhere. Where she said it was the practice, the state, or ability of having more than one sexual, loving relationship at a time with the full knowledge and consent of all partners involved. So she coined the term. So the term is fairly new. However, people have been ethically non-monogamous for a very long time. The word polyamory is just new.
So I got a question. So when I was single, right? I was openly date. I was a serial dater, but I was kind of having sex with most of the women I was having sex with. They didn't know, but they knew. You know what I mean? Like, so that was considered. I was considered polygamy. I was considered in a poly situation.
It could have been if you would have had some uncomfortable conversations with them, where you would have said, "Hey, I have multiple relationships with multiple women. I care and love about them all, and this is who I am. This is what I do. You can say nay or yay." That's more of how the polyamory conversations come about. So everyone knows where you are, how they stand in your life. There's no sneaking deep. There's no, I thought it was me, or I thought it was, everything is upfront.
So honestly, I'll probably have to engage that after they love me or something. I don't know if I can say that off the rip. If I said that off the rip, I ain't gonna get to the tips.
Yeah, it was no caring and loving. It was just whatever. So I guess
and I understand that too, because that is one of the misconceptions that, hey, I'm out here doing my thing. I'm single, so therefore I can be poly. And that sounds good, but many of us who are polyamorous, we do a lot of work. We do more talking now than we've ever done in our entire lives. More communicating and listening and discussing and how you feel and I feel. And everything is out on the table. That is one of the biggest. That's why with the bio you read about me, I consider myself non-monogamous most of my life. However, I had to learn how to be ethical with it. That took some time and some labor of how to be ethical with being non-monogamous, letting people know up front who I am, what I'm about, so you can say yay or nay. Mm-hmm. And I'm cool with the no. I'm cool with it.
Is it possible to love more than one person the same way equally?
I don't know about equally. I've loved more than one person my entire life. And I love those people in different ways. I kind of akin it to how you love your parents in different ways, and your cousins in different ways, and your friends in different ways. You just love people differently based upon who they are. And I've loved more than one man most of my life in different ways.
Now, that love style, can you run us through like a typical day? Because sometimes we know that you all are normal people, but we would have in our minds that, all three of you are sitting in the house and just kissing each other and things like that. So what is like a normal day for someone in that love style?
Well, it depends. I mean, I can tell you my normal day, but then you talk to another polyamorous person and they can have a totally different dynamic set up, what they've agreed to, what they've negotiated. So my life is not a typical life by anyone's standards, and it's not going to be the same with another polyamorous person. So I can tell you about my life. I mean, I'm married and my husband lives in the same house that I live in. My partners some are local, some are out of state. So I see them when they come to Texas. And
the debater's in Texas.
You say it again?
The debater, he's in Texas.
Okay, he's in Texas. So my partner that's locally, we text, chat. I see him frequently. I mean, we have a normal life. I consider it normal for me.
Can he come over for dinner?
My house, he has been to my house. He's been here. We sat here and watched movies one night. Yeah.
And your husband was there too?
No, my husband wasn't here. Nah, he was out on his own date. So do we all sit around and do kumbaya? No, we're not all doing that. Has he met him? Yes, he has. He's been out with him. I don't want to convolute the story, but he's been out with them and they've met and talked and yeah. But no, do we sit around and all watch TV together in our pajamas? No. Do we all go to the grocery store? Some do. Yeah, do that. We don't all go to the grocery store and all that together. No. My polyamorous life is separate from my husband. So he dates separately and I do too.
Are there rules to this?
What you and your partners or what you create. This is what works for me and my family. You meet other people, they have different setups and situations and what works for them. If you talk to someone who's single and someone who's married, or someone who's not living together, husband lives out of state, people's lives are different. So it's just like asking someone, is your marriage the same as the next person's marriage? No, it's probably not. Mm-hmm. Maybe some similarities, but probably not.
I got a question. On meeting these individuals, like how did it go? It's not like somebody approached you and try to holler at you. It's mostly like through probably groups, Facebook groups or dating groups or something like that. Because it will be hard to kind of talk somebody into that unless you already know they in the same or already have that mindset, right?
Okay, yes, that's a great point. There are local, like I said in the bio, I was the regional coordinator. I'm now the global coordinator for one of the largest groups of Black and poly people in the nation, in the world. There is Black and poly people in France. We have a chapter in France. So yes, there are groups, there are organizations, there are Facebook groups, there are online web pages of Black and polyamorous people.
Is there a chapter here in the DMV?
Yes, there is there's one, there's a major one in the DMV. There's one in Dallas. There's one in LA. They're across the country. So yes, before pre-COVID, we did have meetups and gatherings, and we sit and talk and discuss how we're trying to maneuver this love style, the challenges that we face, the happy moments that we may have. So yes, creating that community of like-minded people, yes, that is one of the ways. But I'm like this wherever I go. So yeah, most of my friends know that I'm polyamorous and they know that I'm different. Do I normally date monogamous men? No, not normally.
So how do you combat the people who kind of like look down on you or try to have negative comments? How do you combat that?
I don't. To be honest with you, I'm sure if it was like maybe 20 years ago, I would have a different answer. But I'm open. I live my life out loud. I'm unapologetic. If you don't like it, that don't have anything to do with me. Like I said, if this was 20 years ago, I'm sure I would have a different answer. The only people that I really cared about what they thought was my family. I cared about my son. He's an adult. I cared about my grandmother. She now has dementia. She doesn't know both of my parents are deceased. So the people that really matter to me, my husband, they know.
Is the poly lifestyle? Because I'm thinking about in the Black community, one would think that Blacks are more conservative when it comes to marriage and things of that such. Is this is poly big in the Black community, or is this something that we just kind of picked up on?
I don't know about big. There is a group. I mean, there are Black and poly people. That's for sure. And there's quite a few here in the DFW area. But there's no distinguishing features. Like, they're not going to stick out or anything. There's no way of knowing if your neighbor or the person that you work with is actually polyamorous. There's no way of knowing that. But what I have found by talking to people, number one, people are really curious. Black people are really curious about being ethically non-monogamous. And people struggle with monogamy. I know I could count on both of my hands how many people that I know who are married and cheating on their spouses. I get that quite a bit.
Why are you laughing, hater?
I mean, he was telling the truth. She was telling the truth.
Telling the truth.
Did she just spill your tea for you?
Huh? That's the old me. That's the old me, though. That's the old me.
Please don't judge me for who I am.
Are you gonna have after Teresa leaves? Are you gonna go home and are you gonna talk to your wife, have a difficult conversation
about what?
You're putting him on the spot. Those are the conversations that I have with people when they're like, "Oh, I don't know if I could be poly. I don't know if I could be polyamorous. I don't want to share, and it's just me, and I don't want my wife doing this. I don't want my girl doing this." I get it. I mean, it all makes perfect sense. A lot of us have had to unlearn a lot of things and look at the way we were conditioned to believe. But then when they say, after they tell me how they can't do any of those things, I've been cheating on my girl for 5 years. I've been cheating. Okay, well, you struggle with monogamy too. And it seems like you may be holding your spouse hostage with your lie, which, many of us do. We hold our spouses and our significant others hostage with our lie. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to ask you what are the pros and the cons of the poly lifestyle, and what makes it? What are some of the difficulties in it?
It's difficult. Just to lead the story, it's highly difficult. Trying to be ethically non-monogamous is difficult. I have to do things that I have never had to do in my marriage or having boyfriends. I've never had to communicate with people as much. I've never had to be as vulnerable as I am. I've never had to look at why am I jealous and why am I upset and why do I have these unrealistic expectations. I really had to dig deeper than I've ever had to dig. And I never had to do that before. So definitely cons. If you're a poor communicator, don't like talking, you're going to struggle. And not only struggle with one partner, you're going to struggle with a couple of partners. And you can kind of hide when you only have one. You can hide your flaws. It's kind of hard to hide when you have 2 or 3 partners.
So what we're going to do before you leave, anybody have any additional questions?
How do you and your husband have that difficult conversation to pursue a polyamorous relationship?
Is your name Sierra? I don't have my glasses on, Sierra. I was trying to be cute, so I didn't put them on.
Yes.
Sierra. Sierra, that's probably a topic for a whole nother show. But I will give you the short version. The short version was I had a very uncomfortable conversation, and I presented this to him as to who I was. I was tired of lying. I was tired of all the deceit, and this is really who I am. And actually, when you met me, I was like this then. I just didn't know that there was other people like me. I thought somebody dropped me on my head or something. And, I'm just defective all my life. I thought, that this was what you were supposed to do. Get married, be faithful, have your kids, and live happily ever after. I didn't realize that life was a little bit more difficult than that. So I was just honest with him, really honest. And luckily, we've known many people who have struggled with their marriages, friends and family who were going through divorce. And oftentimes it was caused because of infidelity. So I was like, look, everybody we know is like, he called her and she called him and they're divorcing. Do we really want to do that because of infidelity? Or do we really want to not be together because of that? And we just really had to be honest with each other. Like, I love you. I don't want to go anywhere. Unless you don't want to be with me, I'm not going anywhere. And no matter how many relationships I have, no matter how many people I love, I'm not going anywhere. So, yeah, that was tough. That was tough.
Go ahead.
What is, oh my God. The name of your company? Somebody's asking for the link to your company.
It's on Instagram at TNT Explosion 2021.
We'll type in the chat. So Teresa.
Yes.
You know how my mind works. It's like, for me to grasp this concept, I feel like a woman has to introduce it. I, as a male, I don't think I can introduce that. Like, yo, by the way, I like to be with a plethora of women. Just to be honest with you, I don't think that's gonna work out too well. I feel like if a woman did it, it'd be like, oh, well, I'm kind of like girls. I'm like, oh, let's talk about that.
No, I feel you on that. And see, what you're saying is different than what I said, though.
Mm-hmm.
That is a little bit easier when you say, hey, I like girls, and maybe we can have a girlfriend. See, that it can go over. I didn't say that. I'm heterosexual.
Right. Oh, yeah. Tracking.
Okay? Yeah. So I really had to be very vulnerable here. And I had to address all the ego, my ego. He had to address his ego, his fears, my fears. We had to put them all on the table.
So
yes, it is a difficult conversation. However, men can do it too. You just do it differently than I do it.
Is there a difference between, and it's funny you say men do it different. Is there a difference between, I guess, the stigma of a woman in a polyamorous relationship versus a man? What I mean by that is the woman is the one with the two guys versus the man with the two women.
Well, there's really not a number on that, Niki. There's not a 2 or a 3 or whatever. That's up to the individual. I mean, again, in polyamory, it's up to the individual to decide their level of partners and when they become saturated. Like at this point, I'm pretty much saturated. I'm not taking any applications. I'm not looking for any new partners. I'm at my limit based upon myself and how much emotional labor I can put into a relationship. So, but that's on an individual basis. No one's telling me okay, you can only have this many men. No one's controlling my life. And the same thing with my husband. I'm not controlling his wife. I'm not telling him how many women he can talk to and see and visit. No.
What is polyandry?
That's similar to polygyny and polygamy. And one is polygyny and one is polyandry. Polygyny is when you have a man with multiple wives, and polyandry is when you have a woman with multiple husbands, which are both illegal. and I think all states, I want to say that is illegal. So
how are people getting sister wives?
One is their real wife, documented legal wife, and then the other is it's kind of when they do those like neo-pagan rituals. They call it hand fasting, or I'll give you a ring. It's symbolic.
Okay.
It's symbolic. Like me, if I wanted to say, hey, I want another husband, it's symbolic. I call you my husband, but legally, unless I draw up some paperwork and have a whole estate planning and I leave this and I create trust, there's a lot of legalities to that when you're actually trying to have more than one partner and you call yourself married, but you can only be married to one person.
So before we let you go, I'm going to do a little trivia with you.
Okay.
You can do Martin or Coming to America.
Let's do Coming to America. I just saw the second one not too long ago.
All right. This is for the first one. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
What school did Hakeem say he attended? A, New York University. B, Syracuse. C, the University of the United States. Or D, Columbia University.
Oh, gosh.
If you're in the comments, go down in the comments and give your answer. It's either what school did Hakeem attend? A, New York University. B, Syracuse. C, the University of the United States. Or D, Columbia University.
Okay, do I not say my answer? Or do I look in the comments?
No, you don't look in the comments. You got to answer it.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. So there's that. I say B.
Syracuse?
No, A, New York.
New York. No, it's the University of the United States.
See, I know. That should have been my answer.
Okay, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, what award did Hakeem win while working at McDowell's? A, Employee of the Week. B, Employee of the Month. C, Employee of the Year. Or D, Fry King. Y'all drop down in the comments.
Oh, God, goodness.
What award did Hakeem win while working at McDowell's? A, Employee of the Week. B, Employee of the Month. C, Employee of the Year. D, Fry King. What you got for us, Teresa?
I should have chose more. I'm going to go with Employee of the Month.
Yeah. Employee of the Month. It was B, Employee of the Month, y'all. Who is Hakeem's friend who traveled to New York with him? A, Oha. B, Simi. C, Samuel. D, Hakeem.
Whew. Hakeem. No, Simi.
Yeah,
he was
B.
Hakeem. Simi was the one who traveled. Yes.
B, Simi. All right, last question. So far, you have 2 right, 1 wrong.
Okay.
If you get this one right, you got to do another one to break the tie.
Okay.
All right. What is Hakeem's father's name? A, King Jaffe Joffer. B, King of Zamunda. C, King Yuchi. D, King Mufasa Jaffer. Y'all drop down in the comments. What is Hakeem's father's name? A, King Jaffe Joffer. B, King of Zamunda. C, King Yuchi. D, King Mufasa Jaffer.
I thought it was A, but then you said King of Zamunda. I mean, he is King of Zamunda. Okay, I'm going to go with A.
You are right. King Jaffe Joffer.
King Jaffe Joffer.
Yeah.
That's what I remember, but I was like, but King of Zamunda, he is the king of Zamunda.
Mhm.
So because you got that right, you're tied. So you gotta break the tie. You ready?
I'm ready.
What did Simi buy to make their apartment look better? A pool table. B, a hot tub. C, a grill. D, a chandelier. Drop down in the comments. What did Simi buy to make their apartment look better? A pool table. B, a hot tub. C, a grill. D, a chandelier.
Okay, I remember a hot tub.
That's your answer?
Yes.
You got it.
Gang,
3 out of 5. So you good. You won.
All right. Whew, that was difficult. I was starting to sweat. I should be
You better watch that movie over.
I gotta watch it again. I saw 2, so that helped me a little bit.
Yeah, that was good. Well, Miss Teresa Love, thank you so much for joining us.
You are welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
It was difficult, but thank you again.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for last week. That was
my fault.
But I had a blonde moment too. I just assumed that everyone is on Central Standard Time. There's no other time but Central Standard Time. So I do apologize for that. Thank you so much, guys, for having me on. Anytime. I had fun. You guys are fun. Have a great weekend.
You too. Be safe.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Not be safe, Niki.
Huh?
Not be safe.
I just caught that.
Hey.
Somebody named Mister is trying to get in here, but I
Yeah, who's Miss? Who's Mister? You see,
I ain't gonna act up in front of
Bring him out. Bring him out.
Who's Mister?
I don't know, but I'm about to remove him.
No, this is me. I got in late, so I didn't want to get in the middle of the shit and just bust up in the room like, yo. But I caught the end. That was great conversation. And I was working too, so I just listened in. I'd never come on the show.
Oh, child, who are you?
My name is Montavian, and caught the show, the advertisement in one of the Poly groups, and just jumped on.
Okay.
Huh?
I don't know.
You just be sending the link out? What?
How you send the link?
The link is in. I think Teresa put the link in there. It was in one of the rooms.
Oh, in the Poly room. Oh,
yeah.
All right.
Oh, well, welcome.
Go ahead, Nikki. Go ahead and ask some questions. You got a male on here.
Are you
an expert on here? Let's go.
Where's Kevin?
That's what I thought it was. So are you Poly?
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go.
Oh, from a male point of view. From a male's point of view. So how do you practice the Poly lifestyle?
My girlfriend and I are, both Poly. Both have been Poly. Well, we've been together for about 3 years, but hell, I've been practicing Poly for about a decade.
You were OG.
Pretty much, yeah. I kind of know what I'm after.
So do you have like sister wives, or do you have them separate?
Right now, my current dynamic is just me and her, and you know how hard it is for couples. Couples have a bad stigma out here, so we kind of tread lightly on how we, approach, women that we're interested in. We don't want to scare them off, be too overbearing, or, we want to be weird.
Oh, so you've been doing it for 10 years. What caused you to go from monogamy to exploring the Poly lifestyle and then to just making it, this is your life, this is your love style, as Teresa would say?
It always has been my love style. It was just a matter of putting a name to it. So once someone brought the name to me and said, "Hey, I'm Poly. What are you?" And I was like, I'm a grown ass man. I do what the hell I want to do. I just don't, I don't lie. I don't, sneak behind back doors. I don't, tell a woman one thing and another woman something else. I just do what I do. If they're with it, they're with it. If they're not, they're not.
I heard that.
That's just how I live.
What are some of the challenges that you face or that you've seen people have, like the stigma, I guess? How do you deal with that? The stigma that people put on it, and from the outside looking in.
Oh man, how long you got? Shit, which ones you want to hear about?
What's the biggest one? As like, what is the biggest stigma that people put on that lifestyle?
That it's all about sex. We just a bunch of freaky nasty people. Trying to find the most people to do it with. That's the biggest thing, that everything is sexually oriented. When that really couldn't be farther from the truth. It's really just relationships with different people. It's not like, you think about it, hell, we grown. We got jobs, we got kids, we got careers, we got side hustles, we have all of these things. Who's trying to sit up and have all this sex? It's wonderful. Sex is great, but there are other parts of life that are just as important that we have to deal with, that if you're poly just adds to it, because I have to deal with more people with the same issues that I have. They got work, they got kids, they got other things they have to deal with, and they trying to deal with my black ass. So, and I them and their issues and things as well. So, the stigma is that it's all, sexually driven, and who can have that much sex and still be a grown up?
I don't know. Sierra? Debater? Hater? Anybody? I don't know.
Had that much sex?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
I mean, shit, we enjoy it, but there are other things that we have to do. We talking about retirement. We want to go on vacations. We're getting older now. We got to start thinking about our parents getting older and what we're going to do with them. And if you're talking about poly and actually building something in that poly lifestyle, then it's not just your parents and her parents or his parents, but now you got a third person here whose parents y'all got to think about too.
Can your girlfriend have her own boyfriend if she wants?
Yeah. Now with us, we're only looking for women, but our discussion was.
Mister, let me go ahead and let you know you sound real selfish right now.
I do.
Why she can't have no boyfriend, Mister?
Oh, she can have whatever the hell she wants to. but yeah, she can have whatever she wants to. However, and this has always been our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
If what you want is an open polyamorous lifestyle, I'm with that. But you are a girlfriend. I'm looking for to build some things where we come in and actually commit, and we put our resources and our finances and all of these other things together. And if you want to do that, that's great. I can have girlfriends, you can have boyfriends, we can do all that. But at this age, I'm not trying to build with that whole girlfriend, boyfriend. That's not my plan.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to do that, hell yeah, I can jump back out here. We can both jump back out here and do our thing. But if
I got a question.
Committing and building, that ain't what that is for me.
Let him finish talking.
Oh, my fault.
Right.
The hater has a question for you, Mister.
So you said it's not sexual, it's not financial. So what kind of is it? Is it just intimacy? Like, is it just Like
No,
having
no, no.
multiple people to
I
talk
said
to?
it's not all sexual. It's not all financial. It's not all of anything. So you can't
Okay.
have all. Yeah, it's not all of that, and that's the biggest misconception that polyamory is all about sex, and it's not.
Okay.
So I get that aspect of it. I guess my curiosity comes with, it seems with the polyamorous, you're just alleviating infidelity from the gate, right? But we know the second drawback to most relationships could be financial hardships. So I'm guessing like to be able to provide applicable funds for multiple people, doesn't that actually like hinder the relationship as well? Or how does that work with you, Mister?
Wait, say that again.
Like we know like with polyamorous you basically like as far as infidelity you basically open about who you want to sleep with and things of that nature, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so that the infidelity just goes out the window because you're open about it, you're communicating with your partner. My thing is that when it comes to multiple people, like additional girlfriend or something, or sister girl, whatever you call them, isn't that another financial intake that you have to consider when you're planning everything?
Absolutely, and that's where it comes into where that fine line is drawn. So if we're talking about having multiple girlfriends, boyfriends, and things of that nature, well, yeah, you got to look at where the money's going. So you start talking about going out. You start talking about, hey, what if you got 3 girlfriends or 3 boyfriends, and 2 of them need some help or something.
Right.
You know, um, have you and they had some sort of financial conversation? Do you mix finances with them, or are they just time spenders? You just, do you just spend time with them and go out with them and see movies with them and talk about books? Y'all have a puppy fetish or something together that y'all like to take your little dogs out to the park. I don't know what those different dynamics are. So if you have those, now then, is it up to me to help you with your boyfriend?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If they have a problem, because I don't have a relationship with them, I have a relationship with you.
Gotcha.
So that's why I say at this age in my life, for me, because we're open and we're honest and we're talking about, how we move and what we do. Do I care if she has other boyfriends? No, I don't. However, if we are going to commit and build together, then that needs to be. I'm looking for somebody that I can build with together. Um, and if you start out saying that the penis quota is filled here, I'm looking for a man and another woman because I'm bisexual. Then that's what we're looking for. People change. When what? I thought that penis quota was filled. Appetite got bigger.
Gotcha. So
I get that, but we're no longer on the same path.
right. So I guess with you saying that, my curiosity is like, what about infectious diseases and everything? Do you get people like fully screened before you guys become intimate? How does that work? Or do you have to use protection, or like, you know what I'm saying? What's the dynamics of that situation? Is it like people taking extra precaution?
Yeah, you got to start prior to doing anything sexual with anyone new. Of course, you protect yourself. We're committed. We live together. We do our own thing. We date together. You know, but before we bring anybody new into the mix, we start out with protection. If we're talking about moving further and doing other things, we need to go see the doctor. Let's go get some blood, some hair, some spit, make sure that everybody is clean and safe and healthy.
Gotcha.
All right, the hater has to go, so I will see you, hater. Thank you for coming. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Take care.
Good meeting.
So Last question. Any kind of insight you can give us on the poly lifestyle? Good, bad, and indifferent.
Your poly lifestyle is your poly lifestyle. Figure out what it is that you want, and that's what you do. I want myself and my girlfriend are looking for another woman. That's what we're doing. That's us. That's not.
Are you putting in a shameless plug on this show to let everybody know that y'all looking for something? Because we could be a matchmaker for you. What state are you in? What state are you in?
No, I'm in Texas.
Damn.
What's Texas? The debater.
I'm in Texas, San Antonio.
Find that man a girlfriend for him and his girlfriend.
I'm in that. No, that's not a. That ain't a plug.
We trying to get you hooked up.
No, that ain't a plug. No, we prefer to find them, kind of organically. Just hey, them plugs don't be they don't be working out.
I'm gonna ask you a silly question. This is coming from one of our audience members. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Please do not get offended.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you want to cuss him out, his name is Ace Joshua. ACEJOSHUA. And he is on Facebook. That is his name. And he's short and he ugly. Okay?
Okay.
Quick question. What if he walks in on his girlfriend getting her walls broken in? Is that okay?
No.
That's your answer, dummy.
I mean, nobody would be okay with that, Ace. Come on, man.
No.
Ace, you should have never came in here. You should have went. Go
Can you boot him out?
Go to the bar that you just get out. Like, God.
You gotta be in your 30s to be a part of this.
But Mr. Thank you for joining us. And make sure to Mr. Since you're here, make sure to follow the UPP Cousin Niki on Facebook. Tell your friends to follow UPP Cousin Niki on Facebook. Mr. and everybody else, UPP Cousin Niki on Facebook. IG is Unpolitical Politics. YouTube, Mr. You can find somebody on YouTube at Unpolitical Politics. Make sure, again, you subscribe to the YouTube channel at Unpolitical Politics. Make sure you follow the IG page at Unpolitical Politics. Make sure you follow the Facebook page, UPP Cousin Niki. Make sure like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Also, I did Facebook. I said Facebook UPP Cousin Niki.
No,
she's telling the audience.
Oh, and if you would like to donate to the channel, you can donate at cousin_Niki on Cash App and Cousin Niki on Venmo. But if you I'll still get kind of confused with the two. So put Unpolitical Politics or put Cousin Niki. Either way, I come up. That's Cash App and Venmo, and we can use the donations for the channel for the Foolery Fridays. If you all want to be a sponsor, please go to Unpolitical Politics at Unpolitical Politics 1, the number 1, at gmail.com. Also, the website is up. www.unpoliticalpolitics.com. And there you will find information on Foolery Friday with the Fools. And you also find information on myself and the channel. Thank you all. We're not done yet, but we're going to say goodbye to Mr. Mr. Thank you so much for coming and providing us insight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed what I got, and I look forward to checking in on y'all again sometime.
We're here every Friday at 7 o'clock. Different topics every week.
7 o'clock Eastern time.
6
7 o'clock
p.m.
Eastern Standard,
Central
yes.
Standard Time for us, Texas people.
Gotcha.
Got it.
All right, thank you again for coming by. Take care, okay?
All right, thank you. You guys have a great one.
All right, you too.
Yeah.
Y'all going Poly?
No. I'm good with the one I got.
Anybody going Poly?
It sounds like a whole bunch of headache and recruiting. It seems like being a recruiter almost. Like try to get your quotas and shit. Like, nah, I'm good.
It's not,
Too stressful.
Mr. had like too many stipulations to me. Like Teresa was just like, this is our agreement. You do your thing, I do my thing. They're still married. Mr. was like, you have a boyfriend and we can't grow together. It's like, what? 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 Like there's a contract?
But that's why I was telling you, it's a whole different conversation, you know, when a man is presented. You know, especially men sometimes being territorial and, you know, women being more emotional. If she brings her emotions to it and like, hey, this is why I want to do it, we could probably be more understanding. Guys like, I want this and I want this. See, you're not seeing it like two males and a woman.
Yeah.
You seeing it like, all right, my girl likes other girls and I can participate with that girl. That's what I'm saying.
Isn't that cut and dry though?
It's like the battle of the dicks, ultimately.
Whew.
Pretty much.
Man, these people winning.
Final thoughts? Any final thoughts?
Oh my gosh. It's not something I would do.
You said what?
Not something I would do. I think my thing is just like she made a good point for the people who cheat and your wife or your girlfriend don't know. But if you're introduced to an open relationship or polyamorous relationship, you turn your nose up. That's interesting to me.
That's I guess it's the hypocrite in all of us. Or the hypocrite in some people. Teresa, you did awesome. She's messaging me. I can't get on right now. Teresa is awesome. I'm gonna have her on my podcast so we can kind of get more into a real debate. We can really get into some deeper questions about the poly lifestyle. But any closing comments to the debater?
I think it was good content. I think she was very knowledgeable on the subject. I appreciate just getting the insight besides passing judgment. You know, we have an unconscious human tendency of passing judgment on things that we're not really too educated on. So I appreciate the insight on it. So yeah, but it's not for me. I mean, definitely not for me. I couldn't do it.
Do you have a different type of understanding of it prior to when we came, before we came in, you thought of it one way, and then now do you see it the same way, or do you have a different kind of, I guess, respect for it or understanding?
I have a level of respect for it now. You know, at first I just thought it was like a blender full of like swingers doing their own things and everything. I'm just like, wow, this is just interesting. But it's not for me, and everything's not for everybody. But hey, more power to people that can actually participate in that and be open about it. I think being more open and being more communicating your feelings and everything to your partner, and I think that can bring longevity in their relationship. So I wish everybody the best.
Absolutely. All right, well, that would do it for us. Until next week, we will see you guys later, and good night.
See y'all.
I'll be in DC next week, so it'll be 7 p.m.
Hey! Good night, y'all. And remember, never forget, tomorrow is 9/11. Say a prayer, give a Hail Mary. But tomorrow is 9/11, 20-year anniversary. 20-year, what do we say anniversary? I don't think we say anniversary for that.
I'll say 20-year remembrance.
Okay, 20-year remembrance of 9/11. Please continue to keep the families of the victims, the families of the first responders in your prayers, because they lost the most. They lost their family.
You know what's crazy about that?
What?
More people died on 9/11 in America than the 20-year expansion of the Afghanistan-Iraq war.
Wow.
One day in 20 years. That is crazy to me. That's crazy.
Wow. Well, tomorrow is the day, and we shall remember it. Everybody be safe out there. Wear your mask. Teresa said we were fun. Thanks, Teresa.
Reese.
She was really good. I liked her
Most
purpose.
definitely. Need to get one of those cigars she got though.
Yeah, that's nice.
I can go meet up.
Yeah. Texas is big. It's just like, ooh.
All right, so we'll see y'all later. All right, y'all. Take care and good night.
Good night.